And then the next part, after you understand what we're looking for, we're going to be looking for the bones and muscles in our model so we can identify these. Now, not concentrating too much on the skull here. Probably do that in another lesson. We're going to really concentrate on the whole body in the next 6 weeks. But whenever you're looking at the human body, you're always sort of seeing, bits of your chin and bridge of the nose. So just looking at a skull, and that's why drawing skeletons is really good. If you're looking at the skull, you're going to learn a lot. So when you look at somebody, you're seeing quite a lot of the skull, just the peaks, the highlights seem to come out through the flesh. And it's like that through the whole body. Through the bones and all the muscles that connect. It's called the skeletal muscle system, which is what we're going to be looking at. It's very handy to know all that. So when I left TAFE, I had done 4 years of life drawing, and sort of thought I knew the figure sort of okay. Then my brother comes along and shows me all this stuff. He's just sketching and saying, "This is a trapezius, this is a latissimus dorsi," and he's just sketched it all up. And how does he know all that sort of stuff? Because he'd been to nursing school. He'd done first year nursing at uni. I thought, I want to do that. So I approached the university and got to go in and learn a lot about that. And the really cool thing is you're not allowed to take photographs of dead bodies. You're only allowed to do drawings, which suited me fine. That's why I was there. And it worked out really well that back then, talking to the lecturer, I got to see people with their flesh off. And then I sort of thought, that's how it all works. Suddenly realised how all this works. So we're looking at this here, the neck on people, and if you're not going to draw any of this, you're still going to be a portrait painter, you're still going to have to deal with that, unless the person's forgotten to shave like I did this morning. Usually you see the necks and you'll sort of see the structure and the shape. You've got to know what that shape is. So first of all, these two bones here, the clavicles, and if you feel them on yourself, you'll feel they come to a point there and it dips in, and that's where your sternum is. Now what I want you to do now is feel behind your ear. Behind your ear is a little lump. That's called the mastoid muscle. So there is not a muscle, sorry, that's the bone. What you'll find with muscle is it starts at a bone and finishes at a bone. Most muscle does that. That's why it's called the skeletal muscle system. There's a muscle that runs from that mastoid bone down to the sternum, and if you look at the handout I just gave you, look at the Leonardo drawing, you see it really distinct there. Because he also drew it without flesh. So that muscle there. So you'll have that, and what that muscle does is you can actually, if you can stretch your hand out far enough, put your little finger on your mastoid bone, and your thumb, you can stretch it right down to where the sternum is. What happens when you look down, well, you're not stretching your hand anymore, but when you look up, that's a real stretch, and the biggest stretch is when you put your head to one side. This one really stretches and the other one shrinks. So the muscles are going like this. And when it shrinks, it swells a little bit, and when it stretches out a little bit. So that makes it really hard to be able to just draw something out of your head unless you know how that works. And when you're looking at somebody, you think, hey, it's all changed, because if they do that, it's changed to that, to that. It all changes. So this muscle, which is called sternocleidomastoid muscle. Sure you remember that, it's written in your notes.
It says it on here or something.
So first thing we're looking for. The next thing that really makes up the structure of the neck is the trapezius muscles, which is back muscles which start there, they come out there, and then they come down there. But this part here makes up that triangle look. So I've moved Boney out of the way and just do some sketches here to give you an idea on how that works. So here we go. So look for clavicles. Just sort of look for them when you're doing a sketch. Know that from behind the ears here, going down to here, that those two muscles going like that. And then you've got this sort of like shape like this, making up the rest of that neck. Now it's a fairly masculine looking one. If you want to thin it out a bit, you can. If you're drawing a young woman, then you'd probably thin it out and make it look more elegant. If you're drawing a rugby player, you might thicken it out a bit more. A real fun thing is if you look at coins. Look at Queen Elizabeth. If you get a coin from the 1970s, she's got this very thin, very elegant neck. She's a bit of a honey, really. She looks sort of good looking. Then when you go into the 80s, it's sort of, it's a little bit more, she's not really a cougar, she's probably more of a respectable middle-aged lady. And then when you look at them now in the 21st centuries, you've got like, your nice grandmother there. So you look at Queen Elizabeth, you can sort of see that in the 1970s, they accentuated that. They took a bit of liberty and they made that neck look longer because it shows elegance. So that's somebody cheating, I bet. So, this muscle here, remember what it's called?
I always call
You missed the middle bit.
I always called sternocleidomastoid, that was a mispronunciation. Sternocleidomastoid.
Clavdo is the middle one. So sterno, clavdo, which is this muscle here, the clavius, clavicle rather, and then the mastoid at the back. So what it does is actually sort of comes down like this. It looks like it's attaching here somewhere, but actually underneath attaches to the clavicle as well, and then attaches behind the ear. So that's why it's called that, because it's describing all the bones it's connecting to. Now this trapezius shape, so looking at the back. Now I put an interesting illustration by Leonardo again on the side there, where it looks all like a Terminator. He's actually just tried to work out the body as if it looks like a machine. And he's just sort of done these straight lines like that. So with the, what we call the scapulas there, this is the rib cage. Shoulder, what's the common name for a scapula? Shoulder blades. Right. The shoulder blades here, which are a bit like that, and back of their heads here. This muscle sort of comes like this. If you're in kindergarten and you're doing first year med school, but you're a kindergarten student, you sort of say, okay, we're going to put a kite there. Let's put a kite there. That sort of helps, doesn't it? So it's that sort of kite shape. That's being very simplistic. The shape it does tend to be is that that goes like this, little shape there. And for most people, this tends to go like that, unless you're a bodybuilder. If you're a bodybuilder, it goes down, goes out, and goes like that. Okay, so the shape can change according to how you are. Right. let's make it pretty normal. So it goes a bit more normal. So that's the back of your neck sort of really with those two muscles coming up like that. You see them on that side. What you do tend to feel like, sometimes you feel like you've almost got like a bit of a pocket in here because of that muscle. And so that means that this bit's sort of indented. Now the other thing we've got is here. There's a little bone here that just sort of floats there. And on skinny men, you notice it really clearly. On ladies, you never show. So that's one of the ways of really telling between male and female. But you have a windpipe running down in there, and that sort of forms a bit of a shape there. So if I was to do a cross section there, looking down, you would have, so where the trapezius is there, a bit of the bone, you'd have your sternoclavicular muscle, but then you'd have a bit like this. That'd be the cross section going through there. And then through there, it'll sort of come down like this. Does that make sense?
What's that little bone called?
Oh, I don't know, it's a thyroid bone or something like that. It tends to be a place where there's a stack of muscles going up there. They sort of bunch up there and then they sort of go under to the chin. So it sort of goes like that. The trachea runs through there, the esophagus runs through there. Oh, it's really lost it now. There you go, stay there. Broken, his jaw was broken all the time, okay. Okay, now, is there any more questions about those particular things? You know what you're going to be looking for now, because I'm going to get Jem to say, look one way, look the other way, and you'll be looking for those muscles. This is what I want you to concentrate on. What you'll also notice is, see how that comes up there. And some people you'll notice there's a little bit of a dip there before the next group of muscles. And next week I will be talking about basically the arm, but to talk about the arm I'm going to go back to talking about these two bones again. Clavicle and the shoulder blade, the scapula there. Those two, the trapezius, the pectoral muscle, that's really all part of the arm because everything that your arm do needs those muscles to function. So this is a fascinating subject. It's good to know this stuff because you can, well, like I did, I just drew life drawing for years but didn't really understand the function of it all. They were just like blobs and shapes and forms that you just drew. But once you can understand the mechanics of how these things work, it frees you up so that you can just get there and somebody says, oh, draw a person. You go, yeah, okay then. And you get there and okay, I'm going to draw that sternum clavicles muscle in there too. You just sneak these things in, put in the trapezius muscle there. You sneak those things in and suddenly, hey, hang on, I'm just drawing somebody out of my own mind, drawing it without reference. Once you can draw without reference, it frees you up in that you're not always, spending ages on Google or flipping through magazines to try and find the right pose. You just do it. And the other thing is, it helps you develop your own style. So there's drawing from real life, there's drawing from imagination. Those two things together are far more superior than just copying from a photo every time. Okay, get to it.